Hi guys, and welcome to the latest video. I wanted to do a short video just sharing with you guys my initial impressions of having sold on Whatnot. I was recently approved and had my very first live auction this past Friday, and I've got to send a big shout out to Carboot Chris and Annabelle, as well as a lot of other people from the YouTube community who shared the stream, who participated in the stream, who bidded on my items. It was a fantastic experience. I actually had 30 lots prepared for this auction, and that kind of leads me into what I kind of feel about the platform, because there's very much a process that I feel like I had to go through to be comfortable. Now, this may obviously change, bearing in mind I've only just done the one auction, so I'm still trying to find out what works best for me, and what works best for me is not necessarily going to be what someone else appreciates and gets on with. But for me, I felt for the first stream at least, I needed to be as prepared as possible. Now, I mean that both in like the tech sense, so making sure that my Wi-Fi was good enough, for example, make sure my internet was good enough, make sure what camera, etc. I was using, the tech side of the stream. Now, for a lot of people, they just use their smartphones, but even then, you've got to make sure that you're where you're conducting your stream from has got a great signal and a consistent signal to make sure you don't have any issues. So you've got to make sure those kind of basic things are covered, and I felt like I really did need to test that, and I did quite a few test streams in the run up to the live stream. The next thing I felt like I needed to do was to actually have my items that I was wishing to auction prepared and listed in the auction section with the photos in the description. Now, if you've been on Whatnot, you'll see a lot of sellers list items on the fly. They can just grab an item and very quickly, using the app, add an item and get it ready for auction there and then. So that works for them, and that may be what I end up doing at some point in the future. But for my first stream, I felt that I needed to make sure that everything was all ready, and all I needed to do was like press start auction so that I could then concentrate on the chat and things like that. So very much like I felt like the need to be prepared, as be as prepared as possible. So I had 30 items with photos, descriptions, etc. I had all my giveaways ready, and so that was really important, because I in the run up to it, I was actually quite nervous. I've not been live streaming as much as I used to in the past, and I did feel like a bit of pressure. But thankfully, moving on to like the actual live auction part of it, I felt pretty good when I was live. I felt really good, and a lot of that was to do with the familiar names and faces in the chat, making me feel comfortable. And obviously, like Little Steve was my very first customer. He picked up a TY, what was it, a Mr. Krabs keychain, which I'm really grateful for. He got that for a bargain price of £2, I think, but that was my first sale, and it felt really great. And obviously, it continued. And one of the cool things about getting your items ready for auction was that people can actually pre-bid on them, much like you can at a regular auction. And a lot of people, including Carboot Chris, had put some pre-bids on items, which is also a nice feeling. And once I got going with the auction, I think it went really well. I was really enjoying it an awful lot. And yes, your items aren't going to go for huge money. I did have a handful of items that did actually just sell for the £1 start price that I had on all my items, but I was determined that for the first show, at the very least, I was always going to do a £1 start, and I'm always going to make sure that the items I'm putting up, I'm happy to accept that risk, that an item could just sell for £1. But in the majority of cases, they did actually reach a decent amount. Obviously, still less than you could achieve by selling on eBay, but the power and the draw of being able to clear out a set number of items in one evening is fantastic. So I had 30 items, I sold 30 items, and it felt brilliant. Now, that doesn't mean that's the only way to do it. I've been watching a lot of Whatnot as well, and buying from other sellers. A lot of people in the Whatnot community are both sellers and buyers, and I've been doing a lot of buying, and different streams operate in different ways. There are streams where everything gets listed for £1 and it gets sold because it's a pound start, it's going to sell. Then there are streams where people do have a set price in mind, and they will start their items at a much higher price. Some streams that have got a much more kind of like a chilled vibe, almost like on Twitch, where the seller is just hanging out with their chat and talking about the products. And if someone shows an interest in a product, and they almost pre-agree the price in the chat, and if someone in the chat has shown interest in a particular item that the seller's showing, and they agree on a price, they will then start an auction at that price, and that person will bid on it, as it were. That's not my cup of tea, but it obviously works for both those sellers and the buyers in those streams. So it shows there's many ways to do this, which is very exciting, because you never know which direction you're going to move in. So that was all really fantastic stuff. The final thing, obviously, to talk about really here is the aftermath, like part 3, as in, like, once the stream is over, you're obviously left with a lot of shipping and packaging to do. Luckily, in my case, like I said, I only had about 33 items in total when you include the giveaways. And those 33 items were shared out amongst 9 buyers, so 9 people had purchased. Now, the inbuilt postage system with Whatnot is from what I can see, very intuitive, very clever, and it works really well. However, they use Every as their parcel delivery, and personally, I tend to use Royal Mail. It's just my personal preference. It's not about what's better, etc. I just feel that for me, I feel more comfortable knowing that if a parcel doesn't get delivered, it will be dropped off at the local post office or sorting centre, and the customer will be left like a little card, and they know, most times people know where to collect their mail that they went in for. It just gives it a bit of comfort for me, but that's just me. And so that meant an extra step in my case, whereas it would be really quick to just print labels out. Using the inbuilt system, I had to go and buy my labels on the Royal Mail website, and then copy and paste the tracking info into the relevant fields on Whatnot. Now, I've not had my first payout. I think because of that, it will delay my payout a bit. I probably won't be getting a payout for at least a week. So that's something you have to bear in mind if you're looking to sell on Whatnot, is your initial payouts aren't going to be super quick. I believe once you've sold like 1,000 items, then they start paying you out as soon as you generate your labels, which is excellent. But in my case, if I'm going to be using Royal Mail, I'm always going to have to wait like a week, I think, because it said payouts happen like a week after the information is entered. So that's just something I'm going to have to bear in mind if I continue to use Royal Mail. They may soon integrate Royal Mail into their kind of postage system anyway, so that it's early days. It's really early days. It's a young platform, so I do kind of think it's there's a lot of opportunity. There's so many categories that are open in the United States, for example, that aren't open here. So that's something that you should really bear in mind. And if you feel comfortable, going on video, and it's something to look at. And it's definitely about being there and having, making a good show. They do call them shows, and you do have to kind of put on a show. I feel I think it's part of the fun. It's like combining streaming with selling. I mean, that's such a great combination in my mind, and I'm really looking forward to doing more and more of these. So a bit rambly, but I hope you guys got some information out of it, in terms of my opinion, at least, on this platform. Lots of people have made these videos, but I thought I'd share my opinion. And I do have a link in the description, so if you haven't already joined, please use that link to join. I think you get like a tenner to spend if you do sign up using my referral link. But even if you've already done that, please click on it and follow my profile on Whatnot, so that I can have more people in the next live stream, and hopefully I'll be able to carry on doing lots and lots of cool auctions. So thank you everybody for watching. I really do appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in the next video.